Hi, we're live now.
No.
So our guest today, I'm Christy's Corner. That's Alicia from CinderAliLovesDisney. Our guests today are Steve from Steve's World, and then the corner, I'm still not good at this, is Walt from MouseTalk.
Hi, everyone. Welcome in.
So today we're going to be doing Magic Kingdom, what we like, what we dislike, what we would change, like anything you want to talk about. We're just kind of going to go around all the areas, and when we're in one area, all of us will talk about that area and then move on to the next. But before we get started, we're going to start off by introducing the channels and letting them talk about themselves, and then get into some Disney news. So we'll start off with Walt.
Cool. We are MouseTalk, Melissa and I, and we do a lot of Universal. No, I'm just kidding. But maybe in the future. No, first off, thank you to Christy and Alicia for having me on. I'm very honored and thankful to be here. It's great to be here, and thank you to everyone in the chat. We appreciate you being here. You always have a choice of where you're going to be, but you're here with us tonight, so we appreciate that. And of course, my buddy Steve over there. I do that the wrong way every single time. There he is. That's my boy. There he is. But no, we go live on Tuesday nights, Melissa and I, with Disanity. We have a great time with that. It's kind of a variety show. Every week it's a different thing we do. And then Saturday, Steve and I do Sports Night, which is pretty fantastic. Non-sports right now because there are no sports. So we do Disney. And other than that, we post videos. I've been doing a live stream every day called the Daily Disney Discussion. Until the parks reopen, so I might be going for a while, or until I run out of rides, one of the two. And then we post vlogs here and there of things Disney related, and other than that. But I appreciate being here, and I'm ready to go. We're gonna make a lot of changes to Magic Kingdom today, I think.
A lot.
I think I would make a lot of changes too. All right, Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve with Steve's World, and I go live on Mondays at 8 o'clock with Just Another Monday Night, and then, of course, on Wednesdays with the This and That crew. I am 1/4 of that group, and we go live Wednesdays at 9 o'clock, and then that direction with my guy. We go live on Saturdays, have a little bit of fun, 8 o'clock every Saturday, so it's fun. But thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
We are happy to have you.
Yes, we are. Thank you for coming on.
Allie, how you feeling, by the way? Feeling better?
I am doing pretty well, thank you. Yeah, my
Good.
back is doing a lot better. Still having good days and bad days, but I'm hanging in there. Thank you.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Thank you.
So for Disney news, I'm going to let Walt talk about the Universal stuff since he went. But before that, if you haven't looked, Disney will be opening Disney Springs on the 20th. Third-party locations, not all third-party locations, just the locations that have said, yes, we're opening. And then on the 27th, there are potentially the 27th, there are a couple more places opening. But Universal opened yesterday, and Walt actually went there.
Yeah, I did. Many vloggers that went yesterday. I'm sure most of you have already seen some of their videos. So Melissa and I went down last night late. It was pretty late. We were only there less than 2 hours. We got there about 8:30. They closed at 10. It was a well-oiled machine. They had everything coned off correctly. Everything was labeled really well. They had the 6 feet apart on the ground. They had hand sanitizer everywhere. Everybody was wearing masks. They took your temperature as you went in, which is really done well. They had people at all times coming by sanitizing the rails and the walkways and things of that nature. And there was very little open. I think Voodoo Donuts was open. Bubblegum Shrimp was open. Red Oven Pizza, which is where we ate, was open. And I think a couple other, Margaritaville was open. And a couple other little things were open here and there. So not a ton, but just enough to kind of get people out, get rid of the cabin fever a little bit. It was nice. It was nice to be able to go over there, and it was not crowded at all. Maybe it was crowded earlier in the day, when it just opened at 4. But when we were there late, there was like hardly anybody. But it was a good experience to finally experience what it's going to feel like for a while when we do go to the parks, seeing how they did it. And everybody was really good. I will say that. Everybody was really good with maintaining it except us. I gotta say, so the first time we get up there to the point where you're supposed to check your temperature, Melissa goes right up next to the guy in front of us. I'm like, Melissa, 6 feet. And so we went. So she finally came back to me, and we're there. Then we get past all that, and we get to the security, and I'm up next to the guy in front of me, and she's like, "Walt, 6 feet."
It's just a normal function reaction to just go stand by.
It's part of being old. But anyway, it went. We both just kind of chuckled. We were like, sorry.
So I have seasonal allergies, and I was in our local Kroger, and I didn't have a mask on. And I was getting soap, like dish soap. And I was standing there trying to pick out which one to get. And this lady just comes up and like literally touches my side while they're getting their stuff. And I had been holding it in the whole time. I was trying not to cough because I have these allergies. And all of a sudden I just go, and not on purpose. And she just gave me the nastiest look. I'm like, look, don't touch me.
Oh, God.
Oh, my gosh.
I cough at you.
That is so funny.
Oh my gosh.
But it was done really well. They did a good job. I got to admit, it clearly marked, very easy to see. Good job. Universal 1, Disney 0.
Okay. Alicia, do you have any news, or does that cover all the news that you had too?
I get like little updates from the Disney app all the time. And I got one earlier today that said, "Happy halfway to Halloween" from Disney.
They
and
actually,
I was like, nice.
They
Okay.
actually streamed some fireworks tonight in honor of that halfway there.
Well, I was trying to think because I'm like, it's not the 31st. So I'm kind of confused on how it's exactly halfway to Halloween. But hey, I was like, it works.
Yeah, that's. I get all the Disney updates, but I never look at them. I do look at DFB Guide. They send updates in my email. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Nuts.
Yeah. Sorry.
And they had a post. They're doing like random posts now. It says nasty Disney snacks that you have to try, or something like that, or gross Disney snacks that you have to try. And it's all like the specialty ones and the holiday ones that they think they're gross, but you still need to try them. I don't know. It's weird. I watch that all the time for whatever reason.
Oh boy.
Steve, do you have any news? Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Sir barks a lot.
Yeah, no doubt.
He does.
Just to continue off of the Disney Springs thing, they did announce that they're going to use temperature checks and plexiglass dividers in all of Disney Springs, and the fact that they did actually announce that Disney-owned stores will start opening on the 24th, which is the Sunday. After everything else opens Wednesday, Sunday Disney-owned stores will start opening back up. And then I guess some sadder news. Yesterday they announced that Disney is canceling reservations in June. So they're starting to cancel the beginning of June anyways. I think the first half of June right now are starting to be canceled, and people are starting to receive some emails that their trips have been canceled. So
I saw that was through June 6th at this point, Steve.
It just said early June.
Okay.
I don't know if it's went to the 6th yet, because they were already at the 3rd. They were already canceled through the 3rd. I want to say they canceled them to the middle of June, but whatever it was the beginning of June trips have been canceled.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's I don't know. We're looking more and more like July.
Yeah, as long as they're open by February, I'm cool. And I'm pretty sure they'll be open by February.
And when you go back to we've had many discussions on this long ago.
Yes.
I always thought it was July 1st. They got to be open in time for July 4th. So it's pushing more and more like it is going to be July 1st.
Yeah, mine was June. I thought June 1st. I didn't think they'd push past that, but yeah, I think Steve's right. I think ultimately we're going to get there. But I did read, and that's why I brought it up, Steve, because I read today they said June 6th was as far as they've canceled right now. Now that could change Monday. They could push it to the 13th. But if you go on the Disney app, as of right now, the park hours are only removed to the 6th.
Okay, so right now, at this time, you can only start making reservations if you don't have one starting July 1st.
Yes.
So the only thing I can see them doing early is I can see them opening that last weekend of June. So technically July 1st, because they want to get the weekend under their belt to get that's the obviously the big time. And then the following weekend is July 4th. So that I can see them doing that, but that's about the extent of it.
Yep. I agree.
They still don't have January and February dates open yet at all.
For next
what?
year, it's too far out. They only do 6 months.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, in about another month, you should be able to start booking that.
Yep.
Well, hurry up. I wanna book it. Okay, so let's go. I'm so sorry. Let's move on. He's like,
He's got news.
I'll have it over here.
This is news, darn it.
He's barking up the wrong tree, let me tell you.
He is still a puppy. So
Man, this show is rough. Get it?
God.
Rough.
I've been around you too long. I get them all. So
it's not rough when I'm upstairs, but we've used up so much bandwidth working from home. I just can't even do anything upstairs anymore. I have to be almost like right next to the router. So let's go ahead and start what we're going to do. I don't think I explained it to chat yet. We're starting in Magic Kingdom. We're doing Magic Kingdom only, starting at the front of the park. And we're going to go through the park, including the Main Street area, and say what we like, what we dislike, what we would change, what we get rid of. If we were to get rid of it, what would we replace it with? And we'll just start Main Street, and we'll start with Alicia.
I was hoping you were going to pull on me last. I can't do anything that has to do with Walt Disney World, so I'm just going to have to go off of Disneyland.
Okay.
But I mean, I absolutely love Main Street. My favorite thing about Main Street is walking in and just taking all the sights in, hearing the sounds, smelling the smells, the music's playing. I mean, it's just awesome. I just absolutely love it. But I remember there's a landmark. I don't know. You guys will have to tell me if it's in Walt Disney World. But when you're walking in Main Street, there used to be a cigar stand back in the day, and so there's like a wooden Indian statue kind of thing out in front on the street. And I remember they took that out for a while to kind of polish it up and all that kind of stuff. And they finally put that back in, and everybody was happy because that's kind of like a landmark that you see along with everything else that's in there. So it's just everything that's original. Absolutely, just love. So what else did you want me to talk about?
Well,
we can talk about it.
Yeah, if there's anything you don't like.
Yeah, I don't know if there is. I can't really think of anything right now, so I'll say no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Walt.
I got one. I love Main Street in Walt Disney World. There's very little about Main Street I don't like. Steve and I talked about this on one of our streams. One of the things that's highly missed by a lot of people and overlooked is the flag retreat. Mm-hmm. You have to do the flag retreat at one point. It's very emotional. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. You have to do it.
Which, real quick, not to interrupt, by the way, they are still doing the flag retreat every single day.
Every single day.
While they're closed.
It's great to do that. But if I have to change one thing about Main Street, because I really love Main Street at Walt Disney World, there's very little there. I'm changing the menu or the chef at Tony's. I'm sorry, but there's too many people there that have not, and we didn't like it. Did we eat there? Now I can't remember. But if we did, it obviously didn't leave a very good impression. But I've heard nothing but bad about Tony's. I've not heard very many that have said anything good about Tony's Town Square. I mean, Tony's restaurant. So either the chef has to go or the menu's got to be changed. So if I had to change one thing for a restaurant that's right on Main Street when you come in the door, right on the right-hand side, they've got such great theming with Lady and the Tramp, but the menu or something's got to change because too many people are saying thumbs down to that place.
And I've never eaten there.
Right. And I don't think we have eaten there. We won't, because every time we've heard from people, they say it's terrible. And that's not good.
Meg is saying they have vegan meatballs, so we can roll the meatballs now. So
yeah, and maybe that's part of it. Maybe they are starting to change the menu. Maybe they've heard the people's voice, and they're going to start to do that. But other than that, nothing on Main Street because everything. I mean, we finally ate at the Plaza. Steve, I don't know if you've ever eaten at the Plaza. We ate there for the first time. Very good meal. And the portions for the amount of money that you pay, the portions were great. There's really nothing about Main Street I don't like other than Tony's.
Steve?
So there's a couple things. I kind of agree with Walt with Tony's. It's the menu. It's not the chefs, in my opinion. The menu is, for a picky eater especially, the menu is very not typical of your normal Italian spaghetti. Even the spaghetti was different. So it's a little off for what you're used to. But a couple things that I would change. First off, I think it needs to be wider. I think Main Street should be wider because that's obviously the main viewing area. I love the way it's set up where you come around and you see the castle. That's obviously absolutely magical thing. But here's one problem I have is they need to take all the restaurants that are in there, and there's 6 of them, and they need to move them somewhere else and put in normal shopping or something like that for a real nice experience coming down Main Street, like things more like the Emporium, Disney store type stuff going down there. You have you got the Plaza restaurant, you've got the ice cream parlor, you got the bakery, Casey's Corner, the Crystal Palace, Tony's. That's 6 of them. So you've got those 6 restaurants all crammed in what's not a very big Main Street when you think about the grand scale of how big everything is. But I mean, you have the Dapper Dans that go down there. You have the transportation, the parade goes through all that. It's such a great place to watch all that. And when you do those shows, everybody has to go to the sidewalks. There's not a lot of room to stand on those sidewalks and still allow people to walk by to shop. But I think they need to increase the shopping here, move the food somewhere else, and widen it up for obviously more viewing pleasure for these shows that they have. They're excellent shows.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I agree.
And see, I actually like the fact. I agree with you, Steve. I don't know that they need 6 places to eat on Main
I didn't
Street.
even know that there were that many.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And
I don't know.
That's a lot to have now. It's a big area, but it's not that big.
There's no. Is there 6 anywhere else total in Magic Kingdom?
I mean, there is.
There are, but I agree with Steve. I don't necessarily want all 6 to go away, but I agree with Steve. Like the ice cream parlor can probably go. I think maybe Tony's. Or you're right. I mean, there's tons.
And I don't think they need to go. I think they just need to move somewhere else.
Right.
But
Relocate.
the whole ambience you get when you walk through there of seeing the windows where you got everybody's names and how such things as the lighting, even the lighting progresses. Starts with old style lantern oil lamps and it grows to progresses towards more modern lighting as you go down Main Street.
Yep.
So all that whole feel of everything, I think they should do the same kind of things with the stores. Put up some, maybe the Emporium is fantastic. I don't want to change it, but maybe start with some more historical stuff up front and work your way back to more modern, like kitchenware. I'm not saying kitchenware, but something like that would progress along with the whole theme of everything. But I think they need more. I think they're missing a business opportunity here for merchandise.
Yeah, I mean, all the stores are always packed constantly. So if you have more merchandising areas, maybe it won't be as packed. For me, I wouldn't do away with Starbucks. I like Starbucks. I would change it to where it's more functional. You can't get in and out of those doors there. It's so difficult. And it's not just that one. It's like every single one of them. But I would definitely make it more functional, the Starbucks. Maybe, I don't know, somehow make it more functional. It's not at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would, that's the other change. I actually like the bakery the old way. I was hoping they were gonna, when they said they were gonna bring Starbucks to all the parks, I was hoping it wasn't gonna go there at Main Street. I was hoping they were gonna put it somewhere else in the park. I like the old bakery.
Like a coffee cart.
Yeah, something like they have the one back in Tomorrowland. They have that coffee shop back there. I thought that was gonna be Starbucks.
Yeah.
Something
Is
like
that Joffrey's?
Yeah, you're right, Steve. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And it's too bad because I like the old bakery. It's one of the indelible memories I have about my first time ever going to Walt Disney World. Was walking down Main Street before it opened because we had breakfast reservations at the castle at 8 a.m. The park didn't open till 9. So we were like one of the only ones in the park. And the smell of it coming out of the bakery it was intoxicating. It was awesome.
Now it smells like coffee.
But it wasn't coffee. It was baked items like cinnamon buns, donuts. It was awesome. They probably pumped the smell in.
I'm sure.
Hey, they say they do that with some smells. So.
So I think that's it for Main Street, and we're going to go around to Adventureland and work our way all the way around. So with Adventureland, let's start with Steve.
Okay, so I actually like Adventureland for the most part. I do think that some things need upgrades. First thing I would do is I personally like the Pirates of the Caribbean, the version of Pirates of the Caribbean that we have. I know that everybody talks about the one out in Disneyland being great, but apparently there's one out, I think it's Shanghai, that's absolutely incredible that everybody talks about. So I haven't seen that one yet, but I kind of like where everything's at. I think that we're missing a lack. I know we get Aladdin and Jasmine, but I think we're missing a lack of character presence in this. And it funnels you into a specific area too that, again, I understand they're cramming a lot into a small space, but they've got all kinds of room around Magic Kingdom. They could have spread this out. I'm one that actually likes the Swiss Family Treehouse. I hope they don't touch it. The only thing that I can think of outside of that is I'm an IP guy, and they need to upgrade the Tiki Room because it's driving me nuts. And I liked it better when Iago and
under new management,
yeah, under new management, and it made it interesting at least. But it's difficult to sit in that room. If you need a good nap or air conditioning, you won't be able to sleep in there though because it's annoying. But anyways, but they have their signature, the Skipper Canteens, the signature restaurant. They have all that good, but they need to possibly upgrade a little bit. They have a couple marquee attractions here, which is great, but they need to widen, make it bigger, and make a bigger character presence, in my opinion.
My favorite spot in Adventureland is the Ray-Ban, like at the Sunglass Hut there. I like the Sunglass Hut. I'll spend like an hour in the Sunglass Hut. Aside from Pirates, I do love Pirates, but I have pretty much no interest in the Tiki Room. I've done it once, and I was like, "This is a waste of time." The Jingle Cruise and the Jungle Cruise, I've done both of those, and they're okay once. I don't have to go every trip. I've never been in the treehouse at all. And Aladdin's carpet, I don't really have interest in that either. So land to me is kind of meh, except for Pirates and the Sunglass Hut and the Dole Whip stand.
And Jungle Cruise is I think Jungle Cruise is pretty funny. It
is, but it's the same thing. They don't ever switch it up.
They're going to add the rock to it, then I won't like it. So.
Yeah.
Hey.
What about you, Walt?
Where to begin? I agree 100% with Steve. There's not enough character representation in that part of the park. Other than Aladdin and Jasmine, and even that one is spotty at times. They're not always there. The Magic Carpets of Aladdin, as much as I like it, it's a lot of room in a small space, and it makes that area really congested. They really have to remove it, unfortunately. It would really open that area up and make it a lot bigger. I get it. I mean, you have the little Agrabah Bazaar over there, which is really neat. It fits in well, but I don't like it. I think that needs to go. And unfortunately, I'm different than Steve. I actually think that the treehouse shouldn't be there anymore. At this point, I don't know that it's as popular as it used to be. It's a big space. They might be able to do something different with that area. I don't dislike it. I think it's really neat, but I think it's kind of past its time. And if they changed it, I wouldn't lose sleep over it. But if they kept it, I'd be fine with that too. Other than that, I will say that one of the best moves they made is when they put Skipper Canteen over there. That area, that building for the longest time was empty. It was just sitting there empty, vacant. That was huge for them to do that. But other than that, I love the Jungle Cruise. I actually want to work on the Jungle Cruise.
Because they use all your jokes. So.
Yeah, exactly. but Christy, you're right. They need to find a way to have more than the same script. It's the same jokes all the time. And they're still funny. I still enjoy them. But you're right. You should be able to have different. You don't have to have 50 different scripts, but they should have several to make it.
I feel like they should be allowed to go off script. Like when you see good movies in general, and it's a comedic show, most of those actors are just throwing stuff out there off the top of their head. They should be allowed to do that within reason, obviously. It's Disney. You can't sit there and start cussing.
Sure. No. Yeah, I agree.
Well,
But
most of the skippers I've had have been different. They have the same backside of water joke and things like that, but the rest of them have done their own thing, or maybe it is a different script. I don't know, but I've been on it several times, and I've filmed several times where it's a completely different experience.
Yeah, I agree. It's not verbatim.
Yeah.
At all. It's not verbatim. They do mix it up. There's a little bit of variety there, but certain jokes when they're coming. Like when you get to the elephants, you know what that is coming out of his nose. It's not, whatever. However they say that joke, or the two heads for one of yours. The backside of water. I'm okay with that one. But you're right. I mean, it's the same ones. But other than that. I don't mind Adventureland.
There's also different ways to deliver that same joke too. So.
Yeah, that's what Christina was just saying.
Yep, it is about delivery. I have to be honest with you. Of all the lands, Adventureland is probably my least favorite, even though it's got two main attractions. If it didn't have pirates, it may be irrelevant. Pirates really save that land. I mean, I like Jungle Cruise, but pirates really saves Adventureland for me.
It does for me too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I took some notes while Steve was going over his, so I could talk about Disneyland's Adventureland. So of course, my number one favorite there is Indiana Jones ride. Ultimate number one favorite. What used to be the great thing is directly across from that, there used to have the merchandise store, so you could go and get the indie stuff. But I know they moved that down because they made seating for the Bengal barbecue and some stroller parking, because you couldn't even walk in Adventureland. It would be so crowded with strollers everywhere, like down the middle. So they kind of shifted some stuff around, which was nice. But I do agree that I think the treehouse, it's the Tarzan treehouse, still the same concept. I still think it can probably, retire, put something else there. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
And it's too bad too, because I actually really like the treehouse.
Me too.
I do like it. I love the idea of going up there, and I'm like, wow, I'd like to stay in that room one night when you go up to where the bedroom is.
The view is great too.
Yeah. And I do wish it was a little more interactive too. I wish, like when you went to Mickey and Minnie's house, you could do things, touch things, play with things, all that. There's some, but there's not a lot to do in there. And if I had to choose between it or, I know Walt's here at the carpets, but it takes up a lot more space, and it's not as popular with people outside of me. People like me like it, but it's not that popular at Disney anymore. So for business-minded people, get rid of it, move the Aladdin carpets over, and add something else in its place, because the space is big enough.
I kind of feel like the Aladdin carpets are a waste, because you've got Dumbo in another land, and it's the exact same ride.
Well, you've actually got 3 in Magic Kingdom.
Astro
Orbiter.
Oh, yeah.
It's the exact same.
But I'm okay with it, because you got it. This is the kids park, and you need the rides for the kids, and not all of them funneling to one land out in Fantasyland. So I'm okay with it. I think it's neat. I like the aspect that it spits water, and you can go up or down to get hit by water, whatever. So there's a little bit of a different aspect to it. It's the same ride overall, though.
I agree, Steve. I actually like the fact that you got to dodge the camel when it's fun.
So for Frontierland, I hate water rides in a theme park. If I want to be on a water ride, I'm going to go to a water park. So I've never ridden Splash Mountain, and I never intend to ride Splash Mountain.
Wow.
But I do love Thunder Mountain.
You haven't ridden Splash Mountain?
No.
You know what's inside there
right now.
I know what's inside.
I'm shocked too, to be honest.
It's not your typical water flume. It's not just go up, over, and down.
It's like an 18-minute ride.
Yeah,
it's like a huge 18-minute ride inside.
Song singing.
It's like a dark ride through water.
Yeah, I just again, I can't do water rides in a theme park if I'm wearing clothes like jeans or shorts or anything that's not swimsuit material. I don't want it wet.
You definitely don't want to ride the Grizzly River Rapids at the California Park then.
I've never been.
Well, that's it, Christy. Let me say this: back left, Splash Mountain, you won't get a drop of water.
You'll get a drop.
You might get a drop.
You're not going to get soaked like everybody else.
No, you're not.
Like, I just throw on a poncho. But they used to have a really big problem with it, though, and it smelled when you got on it. If it's been a hot day and people get on it, I'm not joking. You could touch your hand on the bar, and your hand smelled like sweaty body odor the rest of the day. Ooh. It used to be really bad. But
they switched that up now.
They did. They changed it, and it's much better now.
Yeah, they had everybody take less body odor with them.
Yeah, it says buy a poncho.
Yep.
I have a raincoat, but like I just no, I can't do water rides. I just not in a theme park. All right, that's my 2 cents about Frontierland. So you guys go on.
Who's next?
Whoever wants to go. Let's go with Walt.
Okay. I love Splash Mountain. Great ride. I won't ride it a ton. It's my son Mason's favorite ride. He'll ride it 10 times in a row. Big Thunder Mountain. I love Big Thunder Mountain. I will change one thing. Allie, you guys have it in Disneyland. The last incline, you have the dynamite special effects inside there where it looks like the dynamite's going off. Right. We need that.
Yeah.
They need to add that to ours. I would love to have that part of it. It would make that ride so fantastic. I love that ride. Other than that, the only thing that Frontierland is really lacking other than that is probably nothing, I guess, because they actually have characters too. Country Bears, first off, I love Country Bears. I think it's fantastic. It's so cheesy and it's so funny. It's terribly bad, which makes it great.
I find it creepy.
Oh my God!
Let's talk about this on yesterday's stream with Main Street Explorers. The bears, like when you go into it, well, for one, it smells old and musty. But I mean, I guess that's just
because it is.
Because it is old and musty. That's exactly right. All the lines though, when they go, all the guys that turn me on, turn me down.
I mean, it's funny. It is funny.
It's so unpolitically correct. It's just so hilarious. And people that see the best thing about going in there is going in with someone for the first time and watching their reaction to what they're hearing. It's so.
My son was cracking up, but I was like so freaked out by the freaking female that was coming down from the ceiling. It was like,
oh my God, that's one. She goes back up and she goes, so why don't you come up and see me sometime? And the guy goes, I'll be right up if I can find a ladder. It's so dumb. It's funny. It's just if we got destroyed by a meteor tomorrow, and the only thing that was left on the earth, I'd want it to be the Country Bears.
You're committed to those Country Bears.
No, but I love Frontierland. It does have character meet and greets. Speaking of the Country Bears, they'll come out. The Bears will come out, and Chip and Dale are over there as well. It's a good area.
Yeah, I knew that the Country Bears, we've ran into them a couple of times. They don't have official meet and greets. They just kind of walk around and act silly and do silly stuff. I think we saw someone give him a Coke, and I guess the bear thought it was closed and he poured it on himself. I bet I guess that cast member probably got in a little bit of trouble after that.
He might have.
Very possible.
I'm sorry, did you say me?
Yeah.
Okay, the only thing that needs to change in Frontierland is the Country Bear Jamboree. It is absolutely awful. It needs to go. The worst thing they've got on property, maybe outside of something else was going to come up here later, but the Country Bear Jamboree is terrible. It is the worst animatronics you could possibly have. They break every day. It stinks in there. The whole show is just terrible. That thing needs to go, and it needs to go like 10 years ago. It is the worst thing I've ever been. And Walt talks about taking people in there. When I do that, I get yelled at for taking people in there. Why did you waste my time? Because it's bad. It's very bad. But I like to make sure everybody gets to experience it once. And I've never taken somebody in there that enjoyed it. So it's just a terrible.
Take me in there, I'll enjoy it.
Well, not for the first time, you won't.
Oh, that's true.
So outside of that, I think Frontierland lacks good character presence because if they were the Country Bears, they need better ones better. I do actually like the little bears running around because they are kind of funny. The ones inside are the animatronics are like animatronics from like 1940 or something. They're just terrible. The whole show, you can hear them. They're loud. The mechanics are terrible, and they break all the time. And when they break, it is really creepy. It's like a scene out of a horror film. And it's just, I mean, go look them up. You'll shut it off. It's freaky.
The one on stage left does this.
Yeah. One of the eyes will open, the other one doesn't. I mean,
you don't find that to be funny. You find that to be creepy. Oh,
it's terrible. But outside of that, two big, huge marquee rides. It's got Pecos Bill as food. I think it needs an upgrade to its food. They got that, and they got Westward Ho.
That's true.
I just don't think, and the Golden Oak Outpost. But
Diamond Horseshoe.
No, it's not.
Oh, is that considered Liberty Square?
Yes.
Is it?
So Frontierland itself, actual Frontierland, lacks a really good restaurant. The Savior is the next door is a good one, but the Country Bear Jamboree needs to go.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. I thought Diamond Horseshoe was considered part of Frontierland. So he's right. There's no restaurant in there. I mean, there's quick service, but that's it.
Pecos Bill is kind of a restaurant, and they have a secret menu you can go in and get. So it's a little different, but it's heavily themed towards Western. And if you're not into that, then you have no options. I get Frontierland's kind of Western anyways, but I think they could maybe upgrade one of them and make it a little better.
Gotcha.
Is Haunted Mansion considered part of Liberty Square? Or
yes,
it's Liberty Square. Yeah.
That's what I thought. So, is there a Frontierland in California, Allie?
Yeah. So, they have Splash Mountain and Big Thunder Mountain there. So, I do like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. I'm not the best fan of Splash Mountain. I do think it's a very cute ride. I don't like heights, so I do not like the drop at the very end. But I haven't seen Country Bears in over 20 years because they have Pooh Bear's Corner in the spot where Country Bears used to be. So,
and they can do that.
Yeah, and that's such a cute ride. I absolutely love that ride. But and I think there's only like one. Christine, I know you're in chat, but I think there's only one restaurant in the Frontierland that I can think of in California. So not a lot of choices.
The good thing about Disney World too is on I wish they would slow it down just a tad, is when you are on Big Thunder Mountain, you have a really good view of the castle and some other things that you can see in the distance. I wish on some of these rides where they did that, you had just a little bit longer to look around and see, kind of like Everest does when you're climbing the big hill in Animal Kingdom. You can kind of see what's going on. If you come around some of these corners, you're going so fast, it's hard to actually enjoy the view that you do get.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Pass holder Trav, I think he just said the restaurant I was thinking of was called the Hungry Bear restaurant.
There you go.
So that's it. Yeah.
I guess Tom Sawyer's Island is considered part of Frontierland.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that would be one area for me. I would say has to go. I'm sorry.
Have you been there, Walt? Have you actually been on it?
We've been there twice, and I don't think we'll go again.
So I actually like there's a lot of hidden gems there, but you actually have to understand and like Tom Sawyer.
Right.
And especially now after watching Corey Meets World's interview with Tom Nabby, who played the first Tom Sawyer in Disneyland, he just listen to how it was created and the little hidden gems that are on that thing. They used to have a paintbrush that you could go find, which is Tom Sawyer's paintbrush. They would hide it. Whoever found it first in the day would turn in a cast member, either get a fast pass or a pin or something like that. They don't do that anymore, but
they do that in Hollywood Studios at one of the shops now.
Yeah, they do. There's a couple places, and there's one in Magic Kingdom they do too, which is the one where you can go wake up Tinkerbell. Whoever gets there first can help that. Whoever gets to one of the Christmas tree shop, Yield Christmas tree shop, gets to help decorate the tree. I don't know if they still do all these or not, but there's a lot of little first things for those people that get there. But that was a really cool one with finding the paintbrush. It drew people to the island. The one thing that I think is lacking that keeps people from going there that would make it a whole better experience is a bridge as opposed to riding the ferry.
Yeah.
And if they would take on the not where the Liberty Bell goes between Haunted Mansion and the island, but if they'd put a bridge on the other side closer to is that next to Thunder Mountain, Big Thunder Mountain over on that side. If if you put a bridge that people could just literally walk across to go to without having to get on the slow traveling ferry, I think a lot of more people would be interested and go watch it.
The issue with that, though, Steve, is with the Liberty Bell, they would have to up the bridge every 15 minutes.
Does Liberty Bell go all the way around?
All the way around.
Okay, yeah, that's
probably why they've never done that, is because of that reason.
Well,
is because the Liberty Bell every 15 to 20 minutes is going around again. They'd have to do that every 20 minutes, and they're not going to do that.
They can also change it to like the boats that go between Polly and the Magic Kingdom, is to make it go both ways. So when it pulls into dock here, it stops, it goes back the other way and pulls into dock at Tom Sawyer's Island. It could just do the half moon back and forth, kind of like.
It could.
So they could fix that and add a bridge, but
it could.
It would obviously shorten the ferry ride.
Right. Yep.
See, and I think they changed Tom Sawyer's Island to Jack Sparrow's Island in California, or they were kind of teetering on both. They still have a couple old little spots that used to be what was Tom Sawyer's Island before. So I don't really know what they're doing with the island in California. So
I'd visit it if it was Jack Sparrow's Island.
Yeah.
So let's move on to Liberty Square, since we were already talking about Liberty Square a little bit. I like Haunted Mansion. I miss the Muppet stuff. It went away. I didn't see it last year, but the year before that I did. And I really liked it. I don't know why they got rid of it. Every time I walked by when it was going on, there was always a crowd.
Budget.
It took a lot of people to run is the reason why it's not there. But it's not completely down. They do bring it out seasonally. For like July 4th, it'll be out for July 4th.
Absolutely. Yep. Memorial Day, I'm sure it would have been out too. Memorial Day. Yep.
Oh, wrong one. I meant to do this one.
Oh.
Fill the rivers of America, remove Tom Sawyer Island, boom, tons of space to build. Country Bears has to stay. No. No. I'm fine with filling in the water, but bears got to go. They're creepy.
I really enjoy the water around there. I think it's gorgeous for just relaxing and taking pictures and actually. For those people that are just, I got to ride, that's not for you, obviously. But for those people that like to enjoy the beauty of what's surrounding them, that needs to stay, in my opinion.
I think for people like me who have only been 3 times, I haven't ridden all the rides, so I'm still like ride.
And that's 100%, understandable.
Yeah.
So, Walt.
Okay, Liberty Square is my favorite land in Magic Kingdom. It just is. And everybody always kind of looks at me sideways. They're like, Fantasyland? No Tomorrowland? No Frontierland? It's Liberty Square. I love everything about Liberty Square. First off, the entire theming is fantastic. There are no bathrooms in Liberty Square. There's a reason for that.
Yep.
There's a reason for that.
It looks like down the center.
Yep, and there's a colored on the pavement that goes down the middle, and there's a reason for that, which is pretty gross, but it's still a good reason.
I like it.
Haunted Mansion is my single most favorite ride in all of Walt Disney World. Hands down, end of story. It's not the best ride. It's my favorite ride. I love it. It's just it's so unique. It's one of a kind. I don't think there's another ride like it in any other park anywhere around the world, unless it's a duplicate in a copy. I love it. I just think it's great. I love Memento Mori. Diamond Horseshoes there is good. Liberty Tree Tavern is good. They had the Muppets that was there. They're fantastic. Hall of Presidents, even though I haven't seen it yet, I know I haven't seen Hall of Presidents. I know is still it's nostalgia. It's history. It's great. And then it has my favorite shop. It has the ye old Christmas shop. There's nothing about Liberty Square that for me I would change it. It's the only land I can say that I love it the way it is. It's crazy. I know.
Oh, Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, yes.
Favorite snack place.
Yes.
Funnel cakes.
Yes. Sleepy Hollow. I forgot all about Sleepy Hollow. It's fantastic.
I love Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, and by the way, when the parade comes by, Liberty Square is a great place to watch the parade.
Yep.
Yo, we watched it right by, well, it was the Boo to You parade. We watched it right next to Sleepy Hollow, and I got to sit down, and I was like right there.
Yep. Liberty Square is the only place I won't change anything.
I don't know which story Christina's talking about, but she said, I don't think I've ever heard that story, and I wish I could unlearn it now. So I'm not.
Oh, she wants to know why there's stuff down the center of Liberty Square. And I said as best I could, it's people's stuff going down the street.
Oh, that one. Oh, yeah. No,
That's where they used to throw their waste.
They do.
Oh,
It's as realistic as it could possibly be without it actually going.
Yep.
wow.
I think it's funny. I had to explain that to my family, and then my kids were like, "Oh, I can't step there." I was like, "It's not real." Okay, Steve.
So Liberty Square is also my favorite area of Disney World or Magic Kingdom. I mean, so the Hall of Presidents is incredible. Again, it's not a thrill ride, it's not anything like that, but it is historical value like any you'll get on property, and it changes because obviously as a new president comes in, they add the animatronic and move the other one, the current one, to a different location. But it's great, and it has a massive theater. It's nice and cool. You can go in there and relax it. It's 22 minutes long. So it's a little bit longer, but I've been enough times now that I appreciate the shows more than I do the thrill rides, if you will. But Hall of Presidents is incredible. This is technically where the riverboat is, which is absolutely beautiful. Haunted Mansion's a good ride. It's nowhere near my favorite, but it is a good ride. No, ironically, this is my favorite land, but my favorite rides in Magic Kingdom are all over, spread out everywhere else. But it has two of the absolute best restaurants, maybe on property, let alone Magic Kingdom, and Liberty Tree Tavern and the Diamond Horseshoe. The Diamond Horseshoe is out of this world good. I was going to eat there in August, and Patrick and his wife were with me, and then there was a storm coming in. So you guys want to try to get over there? We all went over there. We got to sit in there. They had brisket. It was just incredible.
Yeah,
it was
very good.
Not a buffet, but it's an all you care to eat family style cooking. And it was one of the best meals we had. It's all, barbecue sandwiches and stuff like that. So it's good. It's got some really good. It's got the best food options of all the lands in Disney, in Magic Kingdom, in my opinion. The Christmas shop, of course, is just awesome, and the whole theming of everything is just spot on with colonial times.
I agree.
And it's just great. Now, if they did the upgrades that we mentioned to earlier on Main Street would be my favorite. But right now, Liberty Square is, and of course the bell there too, the Liberty Bell, and the Muppets I love the Muppets. I absolutely love Muppets. I'm sad they moved them, but the Liberty Bell is a great place if you're looking for video or pictures to get the picture of the bell with the fireworks behind it. So it's just an incredible, again, not thrill seeking people styles, but it's very historical and very awesome.
And guess what else we forgot? It's got one of the best quick services in Columbia Harbor.
I hate Columbia Harbor House, but it's
You
fish.
don't like it?
It's
Oh my
fish.
God, I
So
love
I will
it.
say this: last time I ate there with Josh and Jenna. Josh and I both got the chicken nuggets. They were fantastic chicken nuggets, but we don't eat fish. I don't eat fish. I just.
Oh, okay. So, I love seafood, and it's.
But I love the theming of the restaurants. That's why I didn't say we would change it, because it is needed. You can't just get rid of seafood because I can't eat it. But it's a great area.
Yeah.
I really like the Columbia Harbor House, and we sat upstairs, and there's plenty of seating. I feel like there's always plenty of seating. We were there during Christmas time, so we had no problem finding a seat whatsoever.
I love it. They have really good food when they get the order right. That's another story for the next stream.
Alicia, do they have a land like that there?
Yes, it's called New Orleans Square. And I absolutely love just the building architecture decor of New Orleans Square. And they've got the cutest little shops in there. And it's really neat because the Blue Bayou restaurant overlooks the Pirates of the Caribbean ride as you're riding through in there. And that's where the Dream Suite is. Like there's the Cinderella Suite in Florida, and the Dream Suite overlooks the water, like where the Mark Twain boat sails by and stuff. And Club 33 is in New Orleans Square. But I love the Golden Horseshoe. I think that's still kind of considered in New Orleans Square there. It's around the little river part, but they've got the greatest shows there. Very cute shows that they put on at the Golden Horseshoe. So,
yep. I have a dog biting my hand. I don't know if you can see him in the corner.
No, your name kind of
the hand that feeds you.
He's like, feed me. No, he's always all over me. So the next one is Fantasyland. And for me, I like Peter Pan. I loathe Small World. Absolutely loathe it. And Winnie the Pooh, it's okay. And then I do, however, love everything to do with the Little Mermaid section, the meet and greet, the ride. I love it. And I'm not a princess person. And I actually really do enjoy Be Our Guest at lunchtime. I feel like you're getting really good quality food for a quick service, and you have to make reservations. You're in that castle. I really enjoy going to Be Our Guest during lunch. Let's go with Alicia. Do you have Fantasyland?
I'm laughing at Christina's comment to you. I'm sorry.
Why is she calling me a nut?
I don't know. It was like, what in the heck?
Why?
Yes, we do have a Fantasyland there. My favorite rides are, of course, Peter Pan. That's my number one. But my other one that I think it's still considered, well, there's two other ones, is Alice in Wonderland. That is such a great ride, Alice in Wonderland there. And I really love the storybook canals, where you kind of, you're in a little boat ride and you see all the little miniature cities for all the different Disney stories. It's so cool. I love it.
Walt, sorry, I'm reading comments at the same time.
That's okay. Wow, there's a lot in Fantasyland. First off, Small World's okay. I don't mind it. This is the one area where I actually do wish they would add IP. They have IP in the one in Disneyland with all the little, where they put Jasmine and Aladdin in there, or Alice in Wonderland or whatever. I wish they would do that here. I think it would bring another element to the ride. Peter Pan is nice. They've changed the queue here to make it a lot more interactive. I think that's a double-edged sword. It's great. It looks fun. But I think it actually makes the line longer because people stop and they want to play all the different games, and it just prolongs the line. Pinocchio's Village House is okay. It can be hit or miss. Mickey's PhilharMagic is fantastic. They do need to upgrade the video, though. Just the film. I think the film needs to be not change the scenes. Just make it digital or something. They need to enhance the 3D in there. That 3D is a little dated.
It's a good room to take a nap in.
Oh my God, I love it. See, I love that show. I watch it. We'll do that 3 times in the same day. We really like that. The princesses, they took over where Snow White's Scary Adventures was. I really liked Snow White's Scary Adventure. I kind of sad to see that go, but the princesses are fantastic. Pooh should be gone. I'm sorry, I don't like our Winnie the Pooh at all. It should still be Mr. Toad. It should still be Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I think the Winnie the Pooh, the Heffalumps and Woozles area is terrible. They need to change that. Look at the Tokyo Disney Sea Winnie the Pooh ride. It's phenomenal.
It gets kind of I feel like I'm on an acid trip in part of Winnie the Pooh.
I think you're supposed to.
Not that I've ever done acid, but if I had, that's what it would be like.
And as for the new Fantasyland area, a mine train, the juice is not worth the squeeze. For having to wait 120 minutes for a ride that takes you less than 2 minutes to ride, it's too short. It needs to be longer. And Be Our Guest, Christy, everybody always complains about breakfast. Melissa and I had breakfast there. We really enjoyed breakfast.
Is breakfast a snack, or is breakfast a table service or a quick service?
It's quick. It's quick service. Okay. But we enjoyed it. And I got to disagree with Be Our Guest for dinner now. If there's one thing I would change, it needs to go back to the old menu. The prefix menu that they have now.
Well, it's a signature restaurant.
We won't go back.
I'm like, why? Because you go in there for a quick service at lunch and breakfast. Right. Why would you do it for signature?
But dinner is signature. I mean, it used to be, when it was the old menu, we went 3 years in a row and we loved it. Loved it. But the new prefix menu, we won't go back. We don't like it. And then last but not least, the area where Gaston's Tavern is and that little store, underutilized. Everybody forgets about that area. And I love the meat.
I've never been into the store. I have been to get Lefroux's Brew. Mm-hmm. I have been in there. There's not enough seating in there.
No, it's small. It's small, but that area is it's a forgotten area back there.
Yeah.
You know, Walt, you were saying about some of the rides that aren't there anymore. What's great about the California park is they still have Snow White, Mr. Toad, and there's a Pooh ride. So all three of those rides are at that park.
Yeah, but they don't have Tower of Terror the way it should be anymore.
Well, no, that's Guardians of the Galaxy, which some people say is way better, but I don't know. I haven't ridden it yet on the Galaxy's part, so don't know.
Steve?
I knew Walt would upset me at some point in time tonight. And he couldn't be more wrong about this entire land, in my opinion. Let's say that. So this is a fantastic land, in my opinion. It's got this is where you're going to find the best theme, everything across the board. I think Gaston is the best meet and greet of all of Disney. I think it's always packed when we're there because everybody's standing in line. They can't even get through the line before he has to go take a break. I think that itself, it's wedged in between the store and the bar, brewery, whatever you want to call it, and I think it draws people to them. And plus, it's the only way to go from Beast Castle to Ariel and around the Seven Doors Mine Train. Seven Doors Mine Train, I think, is fantastic. I would wait an hour and a half for it if I didn't have a fast pass. I think it's one of the better roller coasters. It's a different technology. It's themed very well. I think when you go in and see the glistening diamonds inside, I think it's incredible. You get a very good. It's a little short, but it tells a story. You get to see the end scene where you get to see them dancing with the witch, and then you got a great view of the castles, both castles from there. Mm-hmm. It's just an incredible ride. I think that obviously this is what's that?
You can rock it back and forth.
That's it. That's the technology I'm talking about. It's the first ever rocking coaster that goes like that, free rocking coaster. And then you have this is obviously one of the best areas for meet and greets. They have everybody there. Mm-hmm. I do agree with Walt that Mickey's PhilharMagic is one of the best shows on property. I do agree though that the film needs to be digitized to make it look better. Ariel's Grotto is fantastic. I love that. The Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. The only thing I don't care too much for in here is the circus atmosphere there. You don't talk about the little, whatever it is, Big Top Circus. It's okay. I liked it way better when we had Mickey and Minnie's house there when they had Toontown. I thought it fit the area better. But this is a fantastic area.
So how did I make you mad? I pretty much agreed with everything you just said.
You said everything was subpar.
No, I did not.
And you said you're like this is okay. This is meh.
No, I didn't.
But
I did not say that.
Seven Doors Mine Train was fantastic. You said no.
It's all right.
Small World is very good, although I will say it does need the IP. I agree with you there.
Okay.
I think, Pinocchio's Village House is one of the best quick services in Magic Kingdom, because it's one of the few that you can get something different in a flatbread. Gaston's Tavern, I don't think is underutilized at all. I think it's fantastic, and I think it's very clever where they put it because it's on a traffic path, and it's what draws that traffic to other people.
Go past it all the time. It's never crowded in there.
It's always, we stop and see Gaston every single time, and it's always packed.
It's always
and there's never
go. I mean, I don't disagree with you. The food in there and everything in there is great. The theming's great. It's just, it's tucked away in that back corner, and I just think it should be out front.
For me, the line is always packed for Gaston.
Yeah, I've never had it packed.
There's nowhere to sit when you want to get a LeFou's brew. There's nowhere to sit in that
That's because there's only 3 tables.
And then I've tried going in that store, and there's so many people in there. It's a small store, but there's so many people in there. You can't even shop in there. It's hard, but I don't know. I think this is a fantastic land, and I think the rides are way better quality than some people.
I think I think the rides are great. The only ride in Fantasyland I don't like is Pooh.
Oh, see, I think Pooh's fantastic too. I know she didn't like it either, but I think Pooh's fantastic. I watched the film. I never got to experience Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. I will later this year,
it's so hopefully. Cute.
But I watched a video on it, and there's no way I would put it in place of Pooh.
Pooh is.
I mean, that one section, it's supposed to be kid friendly. That one section, I'm afraid it would probably scare the crap out of some kids.
And
talking
Pooh?
about Snow White?
No, in Pooh, where the psychedelic stuff is happening. I'm like,
that's not Heffalumps and Woozles, though. That's part of the story. The whole thing. First off, it also has one of the best cues too. It's very interactive. I love the storybook.
Cue's great.
If you've watched the movies at all, which I'm sure we all have, it tells the whole story from start to finish. And that's what the Heffalumps and Woozles are a massive part of that story.
Steve, and by the way, Steve seems to think because I have a different opinion, I'm wrong. Notice that's the first thing he said. Walt was wrong.
No, I said I thought I knew Walt was going to upset me,
and then you said Walt was wrong. Go back and watch the tape.
I got you, Steve.
So we were talking about the Big Top area. I have only been in the Big Top area during the Christmas party to get free cookies. Well, free cookies.
Yeah, I agree with Steve. It's an area that if you don't have little ones, there's really no reason to be in there.
And I will still say, I still ride the Barnstormer, even though it is the shortest, worst roller coaster they have. It's for kids. I'll get on it. I don't care. Yeah. It's just, it's still fun. You get to do something different. Again, it's not your thrill ride, but I'm not in it for all thrill rides. I'm in it for the beauty and the appreciation of what they've created.
Enjoyment.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoyment isn't always thrill ride. It can be, I enjoy on Small World.
And we totally skipped over teacups. Isn't that part of Fantasyland?
It is, but it makes everybody sick.
You didn't pay me to get on that ride.
It's not bad as long as you don't get somebody that's in your cup trying to spin you a million.
Yeah. Right. And my kids will do that. I'm like, no. I told them, I was like, okay, I'll get on there with you, but you can't spin the chair.
Yeah, that's what I say to Mason.
And they spin the chair, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to throw up.
Yep. And Friar's Nook isn't bad either, by the way.
Yeah. I was going to say they have so many different snack places with the Cheshire Cat and Storybook Treats where you can get the Peter Pan float, which is amazing. They do a good job with the food and the snacks in this area.
Yeah. Yeah.
And isn't there like a Merida meet and greet too?
Yep.
Oh, yes, down the side. Great meet and greet, by the way. Highly recommend that one. Yep. Have you done that one?
I haven't done the meet and greet. I didn't even know it was there until we were there.
It's kind of tucked away back there, but it's a great one.
It's more interactive, so they hide it from you. So, she goes through there and she does some things with the people. So it's a little different.
It's really good. It's a good one. It's a really good one. I highly recommend it. It's funny, Steve, because two of the best ones they have are in Fantasyland, like you said, Gaston's. And I think Merida, she's really good. Really good.
In Magic Kingdom, I think they're the best too, for sure. Yes. I think Gaston's the best one on property.
It's great. Oh, I don't know. You ever seen the Stepsisters when they're out? They're pretty funny too.
Yes,
they're not quite to his level, but
I got engaged to one of them apparently. So
see, they're pretty funny when they come out.
Yeah, they are. We rode the carousel with them in 2017, and it was fantastic. I loved it. But I haven't done the Gaston meet and greet. I want to, but every time I go by there, there's a huge line.
So you don't have to do it. All you have to do is just stand there
and watch him.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic.
He's hilarious. So, did we get everyone for Fantasyland?
Allie, did we get you for Fantasyland?
Yeah, because I talked about Alice in Wonderland.
Right, that's right. Okay.
I do wish that they had fast passes for those two rides, though, because they're the longest to queue up for. Alice in Wonderland and Peter Pan ride in California. So, yeah.
Yeah. And Peter Pan ride down in Walt Disney World is great. And queue is great. It's just, I think the queue's a double-edged sword. Making it as wonderful as they have, people slow down. And instead of just keeping going, they slow down. They try to do all the interactive stuff, and it's like, just go.
It's a very interactive queue, and the ride's a long ride, so it's worth waiting.
It's fun. I like it. I love the fact that you're above everything. It's awesome.
It's really cool. So I'm going to have a very unpopular opinion for Tomorrowland because I'm not a fan of Tomorrowland at all. The gasoline smell, I like the idea and the nostalgia of it for people that have gone there for years, but it gives me a headache. Space Mountain gives me a headache, and really that's all that's there because the Astro Orbiters is terrible. Absolutely terrible. I hate it. I won't ride it. I'll only ride Space Mountain once, and I'm just not a fan of Tomorrowland at all. No comments. I figured I'd be like everyone would be screaming at me. Steve, your thoughts on Tomorrowland?
They need to put a bubble over Space Mountain and hit the rest of it with an atomic bomb because it's terrible, including Carousel of Progress, which is the worst ride on property. So Astro Orbiter is fun at night, especially if you can get there during the fireworks. But to go up an elevator just to ride the Dumbo ride like we said earlier, is too much. But it is neat. It is neat. I love the idea of Tomorrowland. The TTA is maybe the other thing it's starting to grow on me, because I appreciate the beauty of everything else. Now, Tron is going to be amazing, but Carousel of Progress, if it fell down tomorrow, I would be like jumping for joy. I would care that it fell down because I would be so happy. The Space Ranger spin is not near as good as the one they have in Hollywood Studios, so it needs to go. The laugh floor is dead. That's his thing. So, but the choices for food are terrible. You don't have any good thing to eat. Sunny is not good. The whole entire thing from top to bottom is absolutely terrible, except for Space Mountain and maybe the TTA. But I understand the nostalgia for the Carousel of Progress, but it is the worst thing I've ever done on property.
Sorry, the dog's getting something he shouldn't have.
That's okay.
This dog. Walt, your thoughts?
I think Steve is wrong. No.
I knew you were going to say it. I was hoping to go last.
No, not at all. First off, a lot of Tomorrowland is definitely needs change for sure. The Speedway, they could blow that entire thing up. I have no problem with that going away. What a huge area. They could put
three.
That's true. They could put three attractions in there.
You could put a simulator to simulate the ride itself too.
Yes.
The Indy Speedway thing.
Yeah.
So
the Speedway can go. I wholeheartedly agree on the food options. No real good food options. We don't mind the Starlight Cafe, but it's not our first choice. If we have other choices ahead of it, we're going to do it. But it is the best choice in that land. Buzz Lightyear, I agree with Steve 100%. It needs I don't want a reimagining. I just want a refurb. I want it to be Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. I want them to change the gun and different elements of it. I don't necessarily want it to go away. Laugh floor, I don't mind laugh floor. They just need different jokes. They need to be
interactive, though.
It is. It's hilarious. We laugh every single time, but most of the jokes are the same, so you know what's coming. That's one of those that needs variety. I absolutely love Space Mountain. I think it's fantastic. I absolutely love the People Mover. It's just a relaxing stroll through Tomorrowland. It's got great views. You get to go in a couple of the rides. It's not a thrill ride, but that's not the purpose of it anyway. That's not what I'm on it for. I'm on it for 15 minutes, for 10 minutes of relax. That's why I like it.
Absolutely gorgeous views too.
Yeah, right.
The only thing I like in Tomorrowland is the TTA. But I may like Tron when it gets there.
Oh, I'm going to love Tron.
Tron's going to be fantastic.
Tron's going to be fantastic. Carousel of Progress, I just differ with Steve into the fact, first off, I don't think it's a ride. I think it's a show. To me, even though it moves, to me, it's a show.
I agree.
And I just like the idea of the show. It's old. Of course it's old. It's dated, but it's Walt's original. He had it at the World's Fair, the New York's World's Fair. It's history. It's nostalgia. I take it for what it is. It's not. Of course it's not great. It's not at all. But I enjoy it. I like the song. If they did get rid of it tomorrow, I would be sad that it was gone, but I wouldn't lose sleep over it. But I wouldn't want them to destroy it. Steve said it one time before, put it in a museum somewhere or something like that. If they keep it, I'm fine with that. If they get rid of it, I'm fine with that. But I don't mind either way.
I just feel like there's a lot of empty space coming in from the castle area where Stitch's Great Escape used to be. I feel like there's like nothing there now.
Yeah, wasted space.
Well, it is because they messed up in getting rid of Alien Encounters. And once they did that because they didn't like how much it scared people, but it was the greatest thrill ride they had on property.
Scared me.
It scared the crap out of me. And it was best thing because if you never got to ride it, it was in the dark, Alien Escapes, but he walked on your shoulders and then he would breathe down the back of your neck.
Oh my
but
God.
it wasn't to everybody.
Right.
It was you could hear the screams coming, so you knew when it was coming to you. And it was the greatest thing they had on property.
There was a reason they put these on you because they didn't want anybody running.
There was no movement whatsoever. So it was fantastic. Stitch was okay, but now it was a failed attempt. They should have never gotten rid of it because it drew so many people. It was that dark, scary ride for that, and it was very intense, and it was fantastic. They got rid of that. It went to a decline. They know Tomorrowland needs refurb, so they're obviously even refurbing the sign up to adding Tron. They'll get rid of the Speedway eventually. They'll completely rehaul this whole thing. It would not surprise me if they got rid of everything but TTA and Space Mountain in this area because it's just not very popular. And one of the good things is one of the things I do wish they would actually do is to bring Disneyland's Space Mountain to Disney World, at least periods of time, because it's Star Wars themed, and it would be incredible.
I want to see Hyperspace Mountain for sure.
Yep.
I think they'll actually keep the Speedway because if they had intended to get rid of that, they probably would have shut that down.
Yeah, I agree. That was your opportunity to get rid of it. This was the golden opportunity.
It was a golden opportunity, but I think they'll see. Number one, I'm surprised.
The error of their ways.
I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet with some environmental group coming and saying something about it in the first place.
Yeah,
because it is not healthy to do, and I'm very surprised that Disney hasn't taken action against that already. But because you can stand over by Space Mountain and inhale the fumes. It's bad.
It's absolutely true.
It's terrible. And there is so much room. I would say within the next 3 years for that to be gone.
See, I think they'll go the other route. I don't think it'll go away. I think they'll go electric.
Maybe.
That's what I think they'll do.
I just think that is probably the biggest ride in Magic Kingdom that takes up the most space.
Yeah.
And it's not good. It's neat to behind a car, but you could put a simulator in there that would be so much better.
I agree.
And still have room for 2 other things.
You could put another roller coaster in there. Not that you need it because you got 2 back to back.
Put an IndyCar roller coaster in where you're like in individual cars and you're following somebody. There's a lot you could do.
Yeah, it's terrible. I don't like it. Do they have a Tomorrowland in Disneyland?
Yes, and I was just about to say when it got to my turn that I started talking about this a couple weeks ago, and Walt came from my head in the comments. So I'm going to make sure I choose my words carefully here and explain. So as far as Tomorrowland, this is my thoughts on it. I absolutely love the Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters ride in there. And I wish they would put the People Mover back in there. I know they can't because the track is, unfit or whatever, but that was so cool. And then let's see, I made some notes so I wouldn't forget. Oh, and I really liked when they had Captain EO and even Honey, I Shrunk the Audience kind of show there. I don't know that they're doing anything in that spot there now. And I do like Autopia, which I think is the Speedway.
Yes, yours is way better. Yours is better.
I love that ride. I love it. It's so peaceful and just a nice, relaxing, fun little ride.
Yeah, it's also different. It's not boring and bland and industrial.
Yeah,
like ours is.
But I do think that Tomorrowland definitely needs some sprucing up, for sure, even at the California part. So
now, isn't that where they have Launch Bay, Star Wars Launch Bay, and Star Tours? Not Star Tours is there, but the Galaxy's Edge is like at a whole nother side of the park, which is kind of weird. I almost think they should move but Star Tours itself, because I know Star Tours is not in Galaxy's Edge.
Right, yeah, no, that ride is still in Tomorrowland there.
Okay, that is in Tomorrowland.
Yeah, okay. They have Space Mountain and then Star Tours. Those are the 2 big rides that are in Tomorrowland.
Okay. Is Launch Bay also in is Launch Bay also over in Tomorrowland?
I don't know what that is, so I'm not sure.
Because I know you guys have Star Wars Launch Bay is kind of like a walk through where they have props and stuff like that.
I think that was where the Innoventions building used to be. So I think they do have something to that effect there. Okay. Yeah, because they'd have costumes and props from the movies. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I'm completely confused at how California has like 3 parks in 2 parks, and their space is much more constricting. Like, how is it all fit in? How does it all fit in?
Because it's a lot smaller. Because first off, The walkways are very narrow, so they're really cramping everything. It's kind of, think Tetris almost, like they're really kind of just putting everything in where they can in this area, and they make it fit. Because you're right, there's not a lot of area there in Anaheim,
and they don't have all the rides and all the shows and everything that we do, because you can fit Disneyland inside of the Magic Kingdom. Right. Now I don't know if you can do it anymore with California Adventure, but you used to be able to take Disneyland itself and put it inside the Magic Kingdom. That's how small it is compared.
Yeah, you could put it in the Magic Kingdom's parking lot. That's how big the parking lot at Magic Kingdom. I mean, Walt Disney World Magic Kingdom's parking lot is.
So it's one of those things where they have the marquee stuff, but they don't have all the extra stuff, in my opinion.
Okay. So Galaxy's Edge, you said the walkways are smaller. Are they smaller there too?
I think a little bit smaller, but they're bigger than what you get in your normal Disneyland out there. Like what you get in Critter Country or what you get in New Orleans Square, those walkways are a lot more narrow, but they're probably a lot wider in Galaxy's Edge. But I don't know that they're as wide as what we have in our Galaxy's Edge, because ours are like, you can drive a truck through those things.
I mean, there's a lot more land in Florida than there was in California. So.
They're supposed to be carbon copies, except for two things. I think that the pathways are slightly narrower. It's nothing like they have the regular pathways are. And the other thing is the distance between, technically speaking, the way about 2 is set up. You got the Black Spire Outpost, and then there's a path that's supposed to lead you down to the Rebel Camp, which is where the Rise of the Resistance is. That path is shorter than it is at Disney World.
Okay.
Are there 2 entrances in there? Because I know at the California park there are 2 entrances.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, one in Toy Story Land. You can get it at Toy Story Land, or you can get it on Grand Avenue.
I feel like there's way too much walking space in that area.
I think it's great.
I'm glad they did it because if you're a Star Wars fan, it's visually amazing. And they put so many hidden things in there. There's hidden languages written on the wall. There's all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
You just go see these iconic things. Bye, Christy. To go see these iconic things like the X-Wing fighter and meet and greet the people. And eventually they're going to have droids wandering the streets and things like that. So. Yep. It needs to be an open area.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they need the space, because if it was so congested, there's no way you can have droids walking around.
Nope.
They would be knocked over or tipped over, or the space is great in that area. And Steve's right, visually, it's awesome. Yeah. It's nothing like seeing the Millennium Falcon just sitting there. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. And it looks about the right size too. It's not like, I mean, it might be a little bit of forced perspective, but it's not. It's big.
It's nice.
Almost to scale, right? Almost to scale.
Almost to scale. It's probably a little bit smaller, but it's right there.
I found something out that's going to make people's heads spin. You know how video games have cheat codes at the beginning of them?
Oh, yeah, I heard this too, Steve.
Millennium Falcon has a cheat code.
For Chewie. Yeah.
For Chewbacca.
For the chess game? Or
no, when you get on the Smuggler's Run, it takes all 6 people to do something very specific.
Oh.
But if they all do it at the right time and everybody does their part in it, Chewie will come in and yell at you. And
instead of Hondo and Naka, it'll be Chewie throughout the whole ride, telling you what to do in Wookiee language.
But they call it a cheat code, like a old Nintendo video game cheat codes.
Yeah,
that's what it is. So it's where you had to go up and down, left and right, BAs and all that. They have their own set of, everybody has to do their part of it prior to a certain point, and then Chewie will be on the ride with you instead of everybody else.
Oh my gosh, that's cool. Well, I remember a few weeks ago, Kelley had said that she actually got booed by I think she said the cast members booed them. They did such a horrible job flying. She's like, I didn't know you could get booed on the ride. So
I set the world record. I got on Smuggler's Run on opening day in 10 minutes.
Oh wow! Yes, you did.
Yeah, he was with us, and then he decided to go to the single rider line.
I left them behind. Well, they not really, but I mean, I was by myself, and I knew they were going as a group, so I was like, I can't get in with these guys because there was 6 of them. So
there's more. We had more than that. There's
right.
I think we had 2 or 3
exactly.
groups,
so I was like, I just went to the single rider real fast, and no, it was just before everybody caught on that single rider was open, and
he walked right on it.
Yeah, walked right on. That'll never happen again.
No.
That'll never
Although you
happen.
can get a fast pass for it now because it's pretty cool.
I might have stand corrected. I thought that story was Kelley that happened to, but I think it was Christina at Playdates and Travels. She's correcting me in the comments, so I think she was the one that had gotten booed on the ride while they were playing the Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
But that was still pretty funny.
Right? And Rise of the Resistance is the single best ride ever made in the history of theme parks, by the way.
Walt is correct on that one.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it.
You've not been on it? Did you say you've not been on it?
Christy,
Oh, it's
you
incredible.
know how when people come off of Flight of Passage and Soarin', they clap and they cheer? When you come off of Rise of the Resistance, your jaw is going to be on the ground.
You start looking at other people.
And then you look at other people and you're like,
They're doing the same thing.
what just happened?
It's you got to realize that it's that good of a ride that you may get to do it once a day if you're there, and you may not. And that requires you to get up early, get in the parks before it opens, and then with everybody else be hitting that button once it opens so you can get your passport because they only do X amount every day.
You literally, I don't feel like I'm on a ride. I feel like I'm in the movie.
Yeah.
It's
So-
an experience. It's not a ride.
It is.
On my last trip to Disney, I scheduled it to where I could go to Food and Wine and to the Festival of the Holidays, and was hoping that they would do a soft opening for the ride, but they didn't. And my last day in the park was on December 1st, and it opened on December 5th.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was like, crap, I missed it by 4 days, and they weren't doing a soft opening because I checked multiple times. They're
I've
like,
been lucky. I've done it 4 times.
We went for a soft opening for Galaxy's Edge and stood there for 8.5 hours. Wouldn't change anything about it, but they didn't let us in.
I remember you guys live streaming that,
Yeah.
and you kept asking them. They should have just said, "We're not doing it," instead of letting you hang on.
Well, they
I'm sure
tried.
they did.
They tried, but they
Yeah,
had a
I'm
couple
sure they
cast
did.
members that were like, I don't know. And I think honestly, there were people coming out that were part of an event that were telling us, "Hey, they're preparing for you guys to go in." I think they were gonna let us in, and I think they decided.
You know what that was? It was them going like this.
They could have been, but we heard it from event people. I'm not talking about cast members. I'm talking about people. And I mean, when you get people like Braden from Mickey Views and all these big time YouTubers that were there, and Michael K was there, and some other people, you're getting people that get inside information from people that this thing may actually open. And I think, to be honest with you, one of the things that may have kept us from getting in is, number one, how annoying the 4 of us were to the one cast member. He flat out, we were having so much fun with everybody else. He got mad at us. He was like, "You 4 are not getting in here. I don't care what I have to do. You're not getting in today." Anyways, the rest of them were pretty cool. But then the other thing that I think is I think it drew such a crowd that there was no secret about it, that there was so many people there that they just decided not to open it.
No, I mean,
So
if they
you ruined it for everybody. Nice going.
We did.
Yeah.
We ruined it for everybody.
It did. Like watching that live stream, I didn't like watch the whole thing because I was working, but I would go in and get a glimpse of it every now and then. I don't do that while I'm working. It started with just a small group of people. And the next thing you know, there's a million people there trying to
Yep.
see if
We
they
were
can.
there.
They were there for
We were
8
very-
hours, and I was over in Magic Kingdom riding Space Mountain.
I know. I would have been too. I would have not been standing outside waiting.
It was an experience, though, that we got to experience together with some of our favorite people that we would never have traded for anything in the world. And especially with one of the cast members, I went live 4 times that day. And with one of the cast members, his name was Tony, and he was like my buddy. Like, he was the one that couldn't hold a straight face when we kept asking him, "We getting in?" But like, the whole experience itself, though, and the bonding and what was created that day with all these massive YouTubers, it was something I wouldn't change for the world. I would do it again if knowing we weren't going to get in.
Of course, you could do that same bonding, riding rides and walking around. And not standing
We tried that at the Halloween party with the 20-something people we had, and we got on like 2 rides, and it was terrible. So,
Well, hey, 20 people at the Halloween party, that doesn't work. That doesn't.
no, you can't
Nah,
follow.
it's just-
It's like,
you got limited time, and it's different.
Have you
I mean-
guys heard? Oh, sorry, Christy.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, have you guys heard if they're going to make that whole lottery system that they do to ride of the Rise of the Resistance? Is that a permanent thing where you basically have to be in the park and get that boarding group and all that? Is that a
Hope not.
permanent thing? Or
for
is that
now,
just-
they have no intentions of changing it.
Yeah, I hope not. though.
Actually, some people, which I would really be very disappointed if they did. Some people think more rides are going to go to aspect. If they do, those will be rides I don't ride anymore.
Yeah,
I think
that
there'll
would be really
virtual
disappointing.
queues for sure.
Well, first off, they shouldn't. When they first came out with Rise of the Resistance, it was first come, first serve. It was because I was there. I did it.
Oh.
It was first come, first serve. So getting to the park early was a benefit because what they did was as soon as you got in the park, once you were in the park, you could start trying to get a boarding pass. So if you got there at 4 o'clock in the morning, you were at the front of the line, you were getting a boarding pass. End of story. Now it doesn't matter when you get there. Just be in the park when the park opens.
Yeah.
They sell out of passports within like 7 minutes.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah.
It's
that.
true.
Maybe it's less than 5.
Yeah.
But that means everybody that gets there, and before the park opens, when they open the gates, and they open them 15 minutes early, so you're in there. But at
30 actually.
30?
They've been doing a half an hour.
So when you're in that park for 30 minutes, everybody's you can't go do anything. You're
Congregating.
You're just
Right.
advanced. You're sitting there, and now half the people might get boarding passes.
Right.
Maybe.
It's terrible. Oh, I hate it.
It's a terrible system, and I hope they don't go to it for more.
I hope
I
not
could be
either.
there. I could have got there 2 hours early. Steve could have got there 10 minutes before the park opened, and he might get one, and I might not.
Right.
That's how unfair it is.
Right. I agree with you. I don't think it's fair at all. I don't like it.
Here's a little bit of a tidbit for everybody. The smaller the party, the better your chance of getting a quicker boarding pass.
Boarding
So if
pass?
you got 6 people you're trying to get a boarding pass for, but you only got 2, the 2 are going to get it a lot faster than the 6.
Even with 2 people, the last time we did it, I think me and Corey did it. We were there. We had everything we needed. We were both on it, pushing buttons. As soon as we have a few little tricks to get ahead of time, we were still, I think, 62. And they only guarantee 75.
Right.
I mean, they go to 75. They don't even guarantee all 75 are going to get on.
And I went by myself, and I was number 22.
Wow.
So and when you're pushing, everybody knows how to do it. So, but they take the single riders especially, and they fill in the gaps.
Yeah.
So him at being a solo, getting 22 as soon as they went. That's how empty, or that's how full all the ones in front of him were. That a solo person couldn't get on till number 22.
Yeah.
Well, they're not going to be filling it up like that when it reopens.
Nope.
Right. Yeah. That whole thing is going to change now.
Yeah. I hope to be able to ride it when we go in February, and it's just going to be me and my sister. So,
Well, the only thing I'll say is I say this to everybody. Even if you're not an early riser, you have to bite the bullet. You have to bite the bullet, and you have to early rise one day. You got to.
You need to
You
ride
have
the
to
ride.
rope drop that ride.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
have to. You
I
just
agree.
have to. Or
I
you're
haven't
not
done
gonna
it
ride
yet,
it.
but I want to. I agree.
We need a 30-minute pre-rope that drive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you really want to ride it,
get there 4 a.m.
You got. Well, no, not now. Not with the way they're doing it. Just
Right.
be in the park before it opens, because they're gonna let you in early.
Yeah.
If it was at 9, you need to be there at 8:30.
Yeah, they're gonna.
You have every equal chance as long as you're in the park before the gates start, or before the whatever day the park, if it opens at 9, as long as anybody that's through those gates where you scan your band has a chance to get a boarding pass at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you have no chance of getting a boarding pass if you show up at 9:30 and the park opened at 9. They're gone.
Yeah.
So
Right.
end of story.
Yeah, you need to be in there ready.
Right. That's why I tell everybody. I mean, my kids hate getting up early. Melissa hates getting up early, but I'm like, do you want to ride the ride? Yes. And you got to get up early. It's that simple.
Take a minivan over to the park, because if you get on the bus an hour before the park opens, because that's when they start running, you're not going to be there until like 5 minutes before before time.
You can do what we do.
But if you're 5 minutes before, but as long as you're inside, you got a fighting chance.
You can as soon as you cross through the gates and scan your band, you
good.
can enter it from that point. It registers off your band scan.
Yeah, registers right off the band, so you're good. And your entire party has to be in the park.
Yep.
Right.
You can't book for
So
anybody
if you
that's
got
not
5 people and 4 of you are in, but one's not,
can't get it.
can't get it.
Yep. That's true.
Yep.
Well, you guys, think I'm going to have to hop off, but this has been so much fun. Steve and Walt, it's been really great finally getting to talk to you guys like it's
Thanks
sort
for
of in
having us.
person.
Anna, it's my
It's
pleasure.
really great.
I think we did actually finish our thing. Was there anything else in the Magic Kingdom? Because we finished up Tomorrowland. That's it. There's nothing really else.
That was it.
Fireworks show, which is fantastic. So
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Love
the
it.
fireworks show.
Yeah,
Are they?
and parade, fireworks show and parade. The one thing I guess I could say is I do wish they would bring back a nighttime parade. Not the Spectral Magic one, but the other one that I really liked.
Main Street Electrical Parade.
Main Street Electrical Parade.
Yes.
I think they need that. I think it's a really incredible parade. That's the only thing I would change is to add a nighttime parade.
It's actually a major void for me. It was my favorite parade out of all of them was the Main Street Electrical Parade. It's been a big void not having a parade at night. I miss it.
Hopefully they bring one back. I've never seen one.
There were rumors.
Yeah, there were rumors. I hope it comes to fruition at some point because I miss it a lot.
And I like the Christmas party and the Halloween party. I don't think there's anything else other than those two, right?
No.
Love them both.
Me too. All right, we'll go ahead and end it here anyway. You guys can hang on for just a minute, and we'll say bye. And Allie, you can go ahead and go. I see you every week.
Oh, okay.
Bye, Allie.
Bye, everybody. Bye, you guys.
Bye, dear. Take care.
You too.